These 5 habits completely changed my life after weight loss surgery, and not a single one of them is about dieting, grinding, or perfection. If you want 2026 to feel different, start here. Hello, my love, and welcome back to Bari Coaching. If you're new here, hi, I am Chelsea, a bariatric mindset coach, Disney lover, and professional life rebuilder after unraveling it. Today, if you have not yet guessed by the intro or the title, we are talking about the 5 habits women actually need after bariatric surgery in 2026, not the Pinterest perfect ones, not the toxic diet culture ones. These are the habits that make your real life, your busy mama life, your full-time working life, your teacher life, your social worker life, your nurse life. Insert your adjective, career, qualifications here, life, doable. So let's jump right in, shall we? Habit number 1 is about regulating your nervous system first. Emotional regulation before action. Fun fact, your habits are only as strong as your nervous system. Before surgery, food was your coping mechanism, right? I'm not calling you out for that because it was mine too for so many years. I have done an entire video based on the addictions I had to overcome after surgery, and one of them was fast food. After surgery, it's like your coping toolbox gets totally turned upside down, shaken and dumped out, and replaced with nothing. So this first habit to build is simple but not easy. And the question you have to ask yourself that only takes 10 seconds is, what am I feeling before putting one little tippy toe into the kitchen? Before what should I eat should always come that 10-second check-in. This little check-in, it changes everything because it allows you to be honest with yourself about what you're feeling before you then make decisions. Because I know, and I've talked about this in my master classes and in my digital course and in every single session of coaching I've ever done, that the urge to binge eat doesn't go away post-op. You're just unable to fulfill it. So this little baby habit, while not the perfect magical wand we want it to be, it can, and if used, does stop overwhelm eating, nighttime snacking, and the emotional spiral. Habit number 2 is non-scale victory tracking, not scale tracking. And I know we've talked about this before. Your scale lies. Your non-scale victories don't. A weekly, or even better, a daily check-in about what non-scale victory you experienced. This is one of the strongest predictors of long-term success. And we know that there's a fairly high percentage of women who gain their weight back after bariatric surgery, and you're not going to be one of them because you are going to implement these micro habits, including tracking your non-scale victories. Right now, open up a notes app on your phone, get out your planner, find a spot, decide on a spot where you are going to gather these for the year. Let's rewire your brain towards success instead of shame and failure. Some prompting questions to ask yourself to figure this out, because if you haven't tracked your NSVs, it can feel overwhelming. Where do I start? What qualifies? What's too small? So let me give you some questions first. Was there anything that felt easier this week or today for you? This could literally be less aches and pains getting out of bed in the morning. One of my clients, she often talks about how she has 2 boys and her household is busy. She has a full-time job that's very high stress. She often plans these big gatherings for 20 of her kids' friends, and she'll say that it's easier now to clean and prep the house, to host the event. She doesn't have to sit down and rest in between, to clean up after the event than it ever was before surgery. So that could be something. Cleaning up your house after the holidays, were you able to do that more easily? Where have you felt proud today? Or this past week? What made you feel pride in something that you did or accomplished or even tried? What did I do differently this week or today. And one that I lean on a lot is, what did my body help me accomplish? That could be energetically getting me through a day, a busy day. It could be hot yoga. It could be walking 25,000 steps in Disney World. Track these. These are your biggest measures of success and how you define success after weight loss surgery beyond the scale. Habit number 3, micro routines, 3 to 10 minutes only. If I had a signature habit, this would be it. It's why my routines stopped feeling like they were falling apart and I had to restart every Monday, every month, every year. I see you, my ambitious girly. I see you. Because we are the same. Most women like us, we set big routines, big goals that are almost setting us up to fail every single time. It's not because we can't accomplish them. It's because we lose the sustainable momentum to get there when we hit a roadblock. Micro routines are gonna meet you where you are, not the perfect version of where you hope to be or where you'd hoped to be by now. They're gonna meet you where you are, which is a lot more gentle. This is a softer approach. So if you envision yourself as a woman who takes really excellent care of her skin, instead of starting the 18-step beautiful Korean skincare routine that you saw here on YouTube or on TikTok, could you start with 3 minutes of washing your face or doing a double cleanse? Are you a woman with an incredibly organized and tidy home? Amazing. Instead of tackling every single room in your house with a hyper focus and then getting tired and annoyed and frustrated after an hour and a half of work and feeling like you haven't made good progress, could you do a 2 to 10 minute kitchen tidy up after dinner tonight? Do you want to be a planner, a journaler? Oh, after my own heart. It's one of my very favorite things to talk about, and you know that if you follow me on social media. Instead of getting every single insert, all of the organizational, beautiful doodads. Do people even say doodads anymore? Could you start by, yes, take out a planner that you haven't actually written in yet. I know you have a secret stack of them. I get it. I get it. Could you write down 1 to 3 minutes of things that you need to do today? Micro routines, they create identity shifts, and identity shifts create consistency. Habit number 4 is future self integration. I know this could sound very woo-woo. That's not how I'll be describing it to you, but if you want the woo-woo version, let me know. This is kind of where the magic meets the work. And for 3 minutes every single week, I want you to ask yourself one question. What would the woman I'm becoming do next? This could be so fun for meditation, visualization, journaling, but it could also be very practical. We could answer this question in so many ways. She eats differently. She rests differently. She speaks to herself differently. She sets boundaries differently. She invests in herself differently. Ooh, that was such a big one for me. And when your decisions align with her, girlie, your whole life changes. This is something that I learned doing my first ever Glow Up Goals workshop, is in taking these tiny steps toward becoming my ultimate best self. I felt like her before I had accomplished everything, and I want that for you too. Habit number 5 is systemizing your support. This is the one that no one thinks about. This habit goes deeply unnoticed, but eventually every successful post-op bariatric woman learns. You can't do this alone. I don't say that to be discouraging. I say that because every successful woman I've worked with, and that includes my own success, had to figure out support. You aren't meant to do this alone. Support could look like a therapist, of course. Oh, how deeply ingratiated I am to my therapist. It could be an accountability group or an accountability pod through your surgical center. It could be a coach like me or a membership. I had the most amazing membership check-in last night with my girlies. I'm so in awe of them. They're amazing. Support isn't a weakness. It's accountability. It's a strategy. I used to set habits wrong for years. If you can set habits wrong, I did that for years. I always thought I needed to push, to grind, to hustle. I was deeply invested in hustle culture. I wanted to restrict more, cut back, and I needed to be perfect. This goes back to my childhood, but it wasn't until I built these habits, these mindset-based habits, that I found that I could gain traction faster by going slower. And something in my joy felt stable enough for me to unlock it and let it free without feeling like I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'll be teaching all of this in much more depth because we have a 60-minute live session in my Glow Up Goals workshop, and seats are filling up. I am capping it, but right now I do have some people signed up for it, and I want you to get in if this is something you're interested in. It's an hour together live where we're gonna map out your 2026 habits and basically find the hacks through using certain prompts for how to get there faster. We'll establish your mindset foundation, your routines and habits that you need to take into this year to become her. It's a little bit of identity work blended with how do I best set goals for myself that are attainable and how can I reward myself so I stay consistent. These aren't just the pretty habits that look good on paper. These are the ones that are going to make an intentional difference in your very real life. If you want to walk into 2026 feeling grounded, feeling happy, and not just on accident, intentionally happy that you created, supported, and confident, the link is in the description box. I would love to see you there. Thank you so much for being here. I adore getting to spend this time with you. Leave me a comment about a micro habit that perhaps you think will work best in your life. I love you so, so much. I hope to see you inside the Glow Up Goals workshop. Thank you for subscribing. Goodbye, my beautiful January jewel. I love ya. I'll see you next week.